Ferrero and the warning to Alcaraz after winning Roland Garros: remember that you are a tennis player? Juan Carlos Ferrero, former world number 1 and coach of Carlos Alcaraz, stopped by El Larguero on Cadena Ser after the Mercian's triumph at Roland Garros, his second trophy in Paris. The Valencian, asked about his pupil's current disconnection after achieving a rarely seen feat, let out a few chuckles. The laugh that escapes Ferrero when asked about Alcaraz's current whereabouts says it all. Disconnecting, says the Mercian's coach between laughs with Manu Carreño. He then spoke about what he told Carlitos on Sunday, after the final. Yesterday I told him to have fun, that he deserved it, and to remember that he's a tennis player at all times. We knew these days were coming. Ferrero once again defended Alcaraz, who had received criticism in the past for his disconnects or his way of enjoying free time. We already know how he is, and it works for him. He comes back mentally strong, refreshed. It's not about the word party. It's about disconnecting itself, being with his friends, not thinking about tennis, being a regular 22-year-old, as regular as he can be, and then coming back to work with motivation and getting down to business. Ferrero responded to the criticism Alcaraz received at the time. Obviously, there's always something to talk about. When the documentary came out, we knew there would be some negative comments, especially if he lost. If he had lost here, they would have said, well, now go to Ibiza to get ready. He also spoke about Alcaraz's training, which aligns with the ATP Tour's demands. It's not about high volume. If practice lasts 2 hours, those 2 hours must be of absolute quality. You improve more that way than with 4 hours of frustration, hitting 1,000 balls badly. I've always thought like that. Especially because of how demanding the circuit is. Training methods have changed. I used to train much more. Double sessions, the Masters 1000 and ATP 500 used to be best of 5 sets, we had much more wear and tear. Once I realized Carlos has the quality to arrive at tournaments in top form, I chose quality over quantity. Alcaraz responds to critics: I like to party. But tennis comes first. The crowd at Philippe Chatrier lives in a constant déjà vu that seems never ending. From Rafa Nadal, the outgoing king, to Carlos Alcaraz, the incoming prince. The Mercian's performance in Paris was dominant. Against Sinner, his main rival, and in their first Grand Slam final together. He conquered his second Roland Garros and is now the second Spanish tennis player with the most Musketeers Cups. This was the most exciting match I've ever played, without a doubt. The match had everything, very good moments, very bad ones. I'm very happy and proud of how I handled everything. It wasn't easy. It's the first time I came back from 2 sets down. I don't think there could have been a better occasion to do it than in a Grand Slam final, he said after the match. Alcaraz dispelled all the criticism surrounding him with his Roland Garros victory. The reason? His documentary released before the Mutua Madrid Open, in which he showed himself as he truly is. Many saw his mindset, wanting to enjoy life as well as compete at the highest level, as a mistake. He's not going to win Grand Slam staying out until 7 a.m., commented Bautista. His triumph at Philippe Chatrier reflects the work of the Mercian and his entire team in reaching glory. I think it wasn't well understood, the Mercian said regarding his documentary. I like going out to party, like any 21 or 22-year-old. But tennis comes first, I'm a professional, Carlitos concluded, his victory in Roland Garros fully backing up his words. Alcaraz has Sinner mentally beaten. Not only because of yesterday's match, just take a look at the Italian's recent match record. Out of his last 35 matches, he's won 32 and lost just 3. All 3 losses? To Alcaraz. The 2 most recent ones on clay, in the finals of Rome and Roland Garros, and the third on hard court in Beijing. The head-to-head tilts further in favor of the Spaniard, 5 wins in a row. This is how much money Carlos Alcaraz earned for winning Roland Garros, and what he'll pay in taxes. The Mercian will receive the biggest prize in the tournament's history but will have to pay a high percentage in taxes since he declares in Spain. Carlos Alcaraz made history at Roland Garros after defeating Jannik Sinner in an epic final that lasted over 5 hours, already considered the longest final in the history of the Paris tournament. The Mercian won in a tense 4-6, 6-7-4, 6-4, 7-6-3, 7-6-2, coming back from 2 sets down and solidifying his place among the sports greats. Beyond the trophy and recognition, the win comes with a financial reward, but also a hefty tax bill. The Roland Garros organization announced that the 2025 winners would receive a prize of €2.55 million, the largest payout in the tournament's history, a significant increase from the previous year when champions earned €2.4 million. This prize hike reflects the tournament's growth and the gender prize equality. After his win at Philippe Chatrier, Alcaraz receives a financial prize worthy of the sport's top stars. However, a significant portion of that money will go toward taxes, as is the case for all professional athletes. Even though Roland Garros takes place in Paris, the Spanish tennis player must declare the full prize amount in Spain, his country of residence. According to estimates by the tax advisory firm TaxDown, Alcaraz must declare the entire prize in his region of residence, Murcia, where the tax rate is about 47.5%, a combination of national and regional rates. With this tax burden, Alcaraz's net income from the Roland Garros prize will be nearly halved. For example, of the €985,030 he earned in Rome, nearly half was taxed. The same applies in Paris but on a larger scale. Out of the €2.55 million prize, around €1.34 million will go to Alcaraz, while the Spanish tax office will collect about €1.21 million. It's worth noting that tax impact in Spain varies by region. For example, if Alcaraz had his tax residence in Madrid, the regional rate would be lower. A historic triumph and a required toll. This year's Roland Garros final will be remembered as one of the most competitive and emotional in both sporting and economic terms. After more than 5 hours on court, Carlos Alcaraz lifted the most coveted clay court trophy of the season. But the euphoria of victory comes with a harsh reality. Nearly half of his reward will vanish in taxes, a mandatory toll for any top-level professional athlete. Carlos Alcaraz's big party in Paris after winning Roland Garros, how the Mercian celebrated his 5th Grand Slam. Carlos Alcaraz will enjoy a few vacation days before playing at Queen's. Carlos Alcaraz celebrated his Roland Garros title in style after an epic final against Jannik Sinner. In that match, he had to come back from 2 sets down and save 3 match points. Using his magic and full tennis arsenal, Carlitos managed to turn things around and claim his 5th Grand Slam title at just 22 years of age. After attending media interviews at Philippe Chatrier and taking a photo session with the trophy, Alcaraz threw a big celebration in Paris. Surrounded by friends and family who had traveled to the French capital, Carlitos joined the party holding a smaller replica of the Roland Garros trophy, completely euphoric. All the party guests lit small sparklers to celebrate with the Mercian and danced to the rhythm of Bella Ciao in honor of his 2nd Roland Garros title. Food and drinks were, of course, present, as shown by attendees who posted videos on social media. The Mercian, naturally, popped a bottle of champagne and drank straight from it to kick off a night of celebration that extended into the Parisian night. Alcaraz now has a few vacation days before preparing for Queen's, the tournament that precedes Wimbledon. The French press bows to Alcaraz. The Spanish tennis player Carlos Alcaraz's triumph at Roland Garros, after a historic 5.5-hour final in which Italian Jannik Sinner took the first 2 sets, captivated the front pages of French sports media on Monday, describing the day as legendary and unforgettable. It's pointless to string together nice phrases and big words, they won't suffice to describe what Paris lived through on Philippe Chatrier, begins the L'Équipe Chronicle, which highlights the match's duration, the longest final in the tournament's history. With the headline 5h29 of legend and a photo of the emotional embrace between Sinner and Alcaraz, L'Équipe emphasizes the quality of the match, the first Grand Slam final between the world number 1 and 2, they turned it into a monument. Alcaraz, who survived 3 match points and won in a final set super tiebreak, showed key boldness to turn the match in his favor, according to Le Parisien, which calls the final historic, extraordinary, and amazing, dedicating a section of its front page to an image of the Spaniard lifting the trophy. Legenda Rai. Simply, begins the Parisian paper's analysis, adding, driven by a crowd fully behind him against the ruthlessness of the world number 1, Alcaraz, who had never come back from 2 sets down in a major, produced an extraordinary performance. Unique. Masterful. Le Parisien also recalls Rafael Nadal, the player with the most Roland Garros titles in history, 14, and sees in Alcaraz a worthy successor to the Mallorcan on the red clay of Western Paris. Le Figaro, for its part, dedicates its front page to a photo of Alcaraz kissing his 5th Grand Slam trophy and praises the Mercian's ability to thrive in long, hard-fought matches. He draws strength and confidence from them that allows him to keep believing again and again, and turn around even the toughest matches.